Hello there, beautiful people. I hope you're doing well. Hello from my living room. I'm spending a lot of time right now here simply because we are in another lockdown here in Germany. So I'm mostly working from home. And to be quite honest, I really enjoy this time a lot. I choose to look at it as something positive because I have now a lot of like way more time to be creative, to make this type of content, to write, to just be creative, to cook, to dance at home, and so on. So all the silly stuff, right? Yeah. Nevertheless, I wanted to talk today about one topic which just came to me while thinking of my beginnings. Therefore, the name of the video will probably be the advantage of beginner's mind. So I would like to share one story of mine from the beginning of my PhD, just so that it inspires you, serves you, or however, to not be afraid of being a beginner, of not being an expert in any field, and so on, to see all the advantages of being really a beginner, to have, you know, like a blank page, starting something new. It's a great advantage when you are coming, for example, freshly from the university and starting to work somewhere. Many young people don't see it because they tend to focus on what they lack, which is experience of working in a certain company or working in any field. It doesn't have to be a company per se. And yeah, usually we are freaked out because we don't have experience and we think, yeah, it's hard to get a job because I'm just a beginner. However, being a beginner is a great advantage. And a lot of companies actually love to hire people who are freshly coming from the university simply because we have an open mind and simply because we would question everything. You know, everything that looks a little bit, a procedure that we keep doing at company looks a little bit strange. It's not like intuitive, it's not, I don't know, logical for you. You would tend to question that when you start working somewhere because it's completely, for example, maybe for you, irrational. The thing is that many companies or whatever you are doing, it can also be a PhD or doing your own company, working in your own company. When you have a very long experience, by that I mean that you are already working on a certain field for more than, let's say, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, trust me, you already gain a certain expertise. You tend to repeat certain processes and you stop being aware of whether those processes are productive, effective, are they meaningful? You just keep doing them because they are easy. Every repetition after a while becomes easy because it's on autopilot, right? So that's why a lot of companies have those processes that are repetitive and simple because you don't need to put so much energy into it and it's on autopilot, it works, you have less mistakes. However, a beginner, someone who is starting to work for a new company, tends to question that, you know, to question everything, which is really good for companies because, and they invite those people and invite their opinions because they really want to critically then think and adopt some new ideas, some new solutions, which usually don't come from people who are already working on certain fields for a very long time, but mostly from people who are fresh and new. And that's pretty normal. I mean, every time you start doing something new, you don't have any background in it, so therefore you're opened to learn everything new, to question everything. So my story that has to do with doing PhD in chemistry. So it started like, 5 years ago, more or less, I started my PhD. And if someone of you doesn't know, by my background, like educational background, I'm a trained pharmacist. And as a trained pharmacist, you, or at least I lacked a little bit of those practical skills, and I also lacked a lot of really deep knowledge about chemistry, you know, about chemical reactions and so on. My PhD focus was in medicinal chemistry, but it has to do a lot with organic chemistry. I know I'm now using a lot of words that you might not understand, but I just want to put your focus on the fact that I wasn't having too much experience and knowledge in the field where I am now doing my PhD. And doing a PhD is like, yeah, you should be very well prepared for it, right? You should have those skills before you start doing it. And a lot of my colleagues, my wonderful colleagues, were chemists, and they were so skillful. Like in the lab, they would know everything. They know how to set up some experiment, how to read certain results, analysis, and so on. And I was really lacking that. Like, let's just be honest, like I really wasn't good at it. I just came freshly from the university. I studied pharmacy. I knew a lot about human body, about drugs. I knew also about the chemistry behind the drugs and so on, and also about chemistry, like working in the lab, but I wasn't so well trained like they were. Like they were all masters of chemistry who just started immediately after their masters to do PhD. And for them, it seemed, from my perspective, it was so easy because they knew all of it. It was so easy for them to set up those experiments and to decide which experiment to do and which not. You know, you have a lot of freedom during your PhD to choose what kind of experiment you will do. But sometimes having that so much freedom, you also don't know what to do, you know, at least I didn't do. So the thing that once happened was I was having a certain issue with one experiment, and I read about certain reactions that I might try out, and my beginner's mind said, yeah, just try it out. Just try it out, you don't know. I wanted to ask my colleagues just for their opinion, I wanted to ask them, what do you think about doing this experiment? Does it make sense to you? And most of them said no, like, this doesn't make any sense. This will never work. It's just, yeah, the molecule isn't the right, I don't know, the conditions weren't right. I don't think it will work. Like, they were mostly like, from their expertise, from their deep knowledge about chemistry, they told me, and I'm so grateful for them, for their opinions. They said that it won't work. But my beginner mind said, what can I lose? I will just give it a try. I don't know anything about it. I will just try it. And it worked. So, and of course, there were many things that didn't work out. But this was one of the examples where I saw, like, just because I was a beginner, I wasn't afraid of trying out new things. I wasn't afraid to question the common knowledge about something being possible or not. So therefore, yeah, I tried out that experiment, even though most of them said it won't work, and it worked. And actually the topic was then very fruitful. We digged deeper into it, and there was additional master work that was a master thesis that was written on it by my lovely Sarah. So I just want to tell you that being a beginner in certain field shouldn't be like looked at as a huge disadvantage. It's actually a huge advantage if you stay humble, of course. You should not be arrogant and saying, I'm a beginner, I will just try everything and yeah, hope for the best. No, of course, you should always ask for help, ask for other opinions, learn, read as much as you can, but also sometimes being brave, and even though everybody's saying it won't work, just try it out. You cannot lose anything. And the same is for working in companies. You know, this was example for chemistry, because I came as a pharmacist into organic chemistry, which was really like a tough topic for me, really tough because I didn't have so much experience in it. But at the end, it worked out. Everything worked out, and I finished on time with my PhD, and yeah, I'm very happy about it. And I remind myself every day on it. Therefore, all the diplomas behind that you see, they're all not mine, but the one from my master's degree and my PhD are there to remind me of the times that I went through, everything that I learned, the resilience, the focus, and so on. So this is just for me to remind myself to appreciate it. Therefore, yeah, everything that you bring with yourself from studies or from the previous jobs and so on, it's very, very valuable. It will give you another perspective to look at this, like to use another perspective when you're dealing with certain problems. in the company or projects, whatever. So yeah, I just want to encourage you to use this beginner mind as something beautiful, something that really gives you so much freedom to try out different things, and also, of course, ask the older colleagues who are more experienced for their opinion. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but nevertheless, you might bring some new changes in your environment just because you are very new and very fresh. So don't be afraid to speak out your truth, your ideas, your perspectives. It's very welcomed. It doesn't matter if it's university or later on in the jobs, it's a great advantage. And the moment where you realize that you are becoming an expert, so after like few years of working in a field, it's either time to change, I would say, because it brings another freshness in your mind, I would say. Or as an expert, stay with an open mind. Stay with an open mind. And also a small tip for all of you experts who are listening to this in any field, stay open to the suggestions of people who are just starting out, who are just beginning. They have brilliant insights that you just cannot see because you have very narrowed, very focused attention in your field, and this is great. But still keep your eye open, keep your mind open for all the new possibilities that the beginner mind can bring. Okay guys, that's it. I hope this was helpful for some of you, and write me in the comments if you are a beginner in your field. Bye!